Mom was crying for hours as she realized the baby she had given birth to. This is the place where my daughter is gorgeous, covered in layers of skin. Be proud of her instead of expressing an excuse to feel sorry for her. Mother of a daughter who has harlequin enthesis is hoping that people be able to gaze at her beauty, not hide their staircases. While I was in a hospital room, in stupor, looking on the ceiling in front, my mind was playing. I was constantly hearing about what was happening. Images of my daughter who I'd imagined for years, prayed about and planned for since the beginning of time, was now present. But at the time which was supposed to bring completeness to my loved ones, that final piece of the most stunning puzzle suddenly vanished. It wasn't as if the piece had to be flipped over, but rather it was as if someone grabbed the puzzle and then smashed it. Gone. Broken and lonely. My only option was to look at her body and imagine her within my arms. My pregnancy was normal to the point that my water broke around 34 weeks. Her stats were excellent, and we even needed a C-section since she was in breech. The whole thing was calm and lovely until it didn't. After they brought her away, I heard her scream, and they said she's gorgeous. These are the kind of words that every mother would like to hear, and I smiled and sat down. In the background, however, the situation was becoming scary. Harlequin ichthyosis isn't something the majority of people, not even those working in the medical field, are aware of. While they attempted to aid the patient, she's skin grew hard in a matter of minutes. After it had hardened, it started to break, creating open wounds across her body. In the background, I felt anxious, panicked feelings. I asked the doctor whether things were okay. They confirmed that they were and asked if I would like more medication. Then I was released for the rest of the time that transpired. My husband was taken out and asked to select among the bigger hospitals. He was informed that she was suffering from a medical condition, however, it wasn't clear what was presented to him. Anna, as well as being able to gaze deeply into her eyes just a few moments before they began swelling. Then she was unable to open them for a few days. I woke up and searched for my husband, but then was gone again. The next time I woke up and asked him where he was. I was informed that he was with the baby. When they brought me to the hospital, I asked if they were sure the baby was fine, and they said yes. We'll discuss that later in the waiting room. I didn't ask more. I didn't want to learn more. I was feeling as if my desire to meet a girl this strongly had caused me to be a victim of my own desires, and I was not ready to hear the bad news. I was not ready to see my life completely different. I was just not ready. The first time they said that it's a defect in the birth, and I thought, it's okay, I can fix it. Prosthetics are made and they can perform surgery, absolutely. In 2017, they'll be able to repair it. My husband's silence was a frightening thought to me. He was stunned while the doctor left. I pressed him for more information. He kept on saying it was bad. What is that really saying? I was thinking in my head, he told me Jenny. I looked into her eyes and saw the most stunning soul. Broken is the best word to describe what it felt like. Was when they put her body within my hands. Over the past few months, her skin been growing at a rapid rate. All at one time, after being exposed to the air outside, the skin began to dry. The fingers were getting squeezed and were turning blue while her toes were positioned on the lower part of her feet due to the skin's tightness. Everyone was trying to figure out what was wrong, but had never witnessed something like this before. The girl was in good health. It was all perfect. It wasn't like it was. What's frightening about any kind of tragedy or trauma is that it occurs exactly like that. Everything is fine, perfect even, until they're not. The choices you make in these situations determine who you are as well as what you'll become. I spent the following 2 days trying to not research her condition and pondering how she could be miserable should she live. I'm willing to acknowledge this since it was in the moment, during the most lost and confused moment of my life, that I began to think she'd be better in death. The thought popped into my mind more than once while I tried my best to keep my mind upon other matters. People would come in and go. They told me stories about others who had this issue and how amazing they had been. It appeared that everyone was looking it up, but not me since I wasn't fully prepared. My husband was there to pick myself from the hospital to transport me to Anna, and, as I sat beside him, I told him how the doctor did not give her any chances of surviving. He believed he might be able to keep her alive till I arrived to meet her. My heart stopped, and I was immediately sick. I've never been more impacted by any words I'd before in my life. I made the decision at that point that my Anna was not going to die, because simply put, I was never prepared for the possibility of that. If the feelings I just felt were to last longer than a brief moment, I'd not recover from it if she ever did. My Anna was determined, and the NICU was simple, and she did amazingly with everything. After a few days, when I looked into those eyes for the very first time, I was able to recall what my husband had told me. I remember being completely in love by her eyes and how I could not see the way other people did. Her beauty was in the pure form. The problem was that it wasn't until I began trying to introduce her to air outside that I started having issues. On the first day, I picked out an outfit and was thrilled. After just 5 minutes in the humidified box, and the clothing became dry. Her skin became hard and leathery, and she began crying in pain. The next day, we tried again, however this time, we wrapped her with Vaseline. Then, we put the bag in plastic, lined with a sanitary towel. This time she lasted longer, however. As I held her, my heart broke. The nurse attempted to remain positive, but the day I felt a sense of despair consuming me. I gave her back, and ran into the hall, in which I was unable to find the feeling. I was worried that she would remain in plastic for the rest of her life, and I was unsure of what she was going to do with her life. The day we took her home was very frightening. After leaving the facility, an elevator attendant attempted to gaze at Anna. Our nurse was in the car seat and immediately defended Anna and us by avoiding her reactions. The next 2 months proved to be the most difficult since I felt lonely and broken. Desperate, my mother, sister, and husband took over, and all she was able to put on were pajama fleeces. Every now and then I covered her in Vaseline and bathed her for a long period throughout the day. I'd dreamed for a long time about what my baby would be wearing, but I thought it was a bit trivial. This was the thing I was most worried about when my husband was worried about me. He spoke with one of his friends who had lost 2 babies, both within 1 month. The friend mentioned that his wife was going to talk to me, and initially I was completely against the idea. The day she entered my house was the day my perception became everything. She shared with me her lengthy tale of 2 births and the fact that both her gorgeous babies didn't make it to home. The babies died each at around 1 month old. This is exactly the age Anna had been when she arrived home. I wondered how difficult it was for her. It was impossible for her to go to the store without seeing what her kids could never wear. I was reminded of the fear I had when I was told Anna was not going to live for long, and how she feels that way and always in the deepest part of her. I thought of how debilitating it is for her, but also how she rises each day with smiles on her faces to the 2 sons she now has. Some moments in life can be life-changing. It was certainly one of those times. I chose to think about what I could get and not worry about what I couldn't have. I determined that should Anna could only wear fleece, I would select the most adorable fleece pajamas that I could find and wear them each day. As time passed, Anna's skin started to shed the layers of skin, and I gained confidence and began taking care of her. My sister and I tested every kind of lotion and oil for her hair. I worked all day to get rid of the extra skin. Unfortunately, along with it came all her hair. I set tiny goals, and every time I got to one, I celebrated it in a large way. If there is a kid suffering from disabilities of any kind and you are able to feel joy even in the smallest of moments, I began to realize that if I imposed limits on the things she could do in the future, that's the things she could accomplish. So I raised the bar. I figured she was able of anything, and I was too. I will always remember the first time she wore jeans and how thrilled I was to apply different types of fabrics onto her body, and how the hats became headbands when I could make her hair grow again. Small steps were like giant leaps, and I finally made an effort to reveal Anna her story with everyone around the globe. What my husband could see in her eyes the first day was all the world could see. Anna won everyone's hearts as she is the purest example of perfection. Being able to do the work each day is effortless for me when it's done to Anna and for her with each new success. The world is celebrating with me, and it helps me each day to concentrate on the positives, and everything else just is a matter of. I blamed myself once for Anna's situation. I believed it was the result of my own greed because I was so desperate to have her. While my life was perfect, I am now aware that I received her because of the affection I carried within my soul for my Hunter. Anna's birth was planned for me, and I am for her. Together we'll reveal to the world what real beauty truly is. I don't upload photos of Anna in the mornings enough. It's when I think she is the most gorgeous. I would like everyone to be able to witness the beauty I see in her different features. The amazing beauty her skin's natural beauty creates. Everybody is eager to see beauty that is beyond the skin, but how many are able to see the beauty in her skin? Her beauty is a blessing to my soul and captivated me to tears and remains to this day. Fast forward 2 years, and I be captivated by her eyes. Sometimes, when she lays into bed with me in the morning, I sit and watch her drift off to sleep. Her beautiful skin is captivating, and I am sure she was created to be unique. Being able to share Anna her beauty with everyone isn't just about getting her skin to look like normal as it can be for the benefit of other people. It's about educating others about the beauty and distinctions. In these moments that you appreciate her more because of the determination and strength she displays. She appears to be at ease and radiates beauty, happiness, and love. I'm determined to display to all the world her beauty. Thank you for watching. Share and like the video on social media. We'll get back with you as soon as we can.